this is gonna go. It's the first one of these I'm doing, but hopefully there will be more. Today is May 23rd, 2009. My name's Owen Morris, 25 years old. It's been about a week since I found out I'm going to Afghanistan. I'm a student at San Francisco State. I just finished my junior year. I have about a year left before I get my bachelor's in cinema, is my major. I'm hoping that with this project I should be able to document that stuff, what it's like to come from this and to go to that and then come back to this. My life's about to change quite a bit. Well, I am not wrong there. Today's March 19th, 2017. I'm now 33 years old. I think I set out to tell a really general story about war and how it affects people. But I think the story that I need to tell is my story about how I ended up at the war and how it affected my life. So my plan is to fill in the gaps with this footage and to sit here with my camera, you guys, and the dog, Tandy, until I'm done. Alright, so first things first, backstory time. So I was born in San Francisco in 1983 to Janet Michaelis and Lee Morris. My mother really wanted to have a daughter, but I was the second of two boys. And for this reason, I was raised female. She told people I was gay as young as age 3. I was encouraged to do dance, theater, musical theater, ballet. Pretty much anything feminine was encouraged and everything masculine was discouraged. I think I got into film because it was one of the only things I could relate with my mother over. She would watch my videos and encourage me. As I grew into being a young man, as a teenager, our relationship got more and more strained. And when I was 17, she sent me away to a wilderness survival program. I was trying to find something I could show you very quickly so you could understand how intense the wilderness was. This is a sage bark hammock. I weaved all of this rope myself and gathered all of the bark to weave this rope myself. That's how hardcore it was. Almost forgot, underneath the sage bark hammock is my fire set. You have not been hardcore camping until this is your only means of making fire. So after graduating from the boarding school, getting my high school diploma, and starting college in San Francisco, I found myself bored. And I wandered into the Marine Corps recruiter's office. And in October of 2003, I did end up joining the Marine Corps Reserves. I think part of why I joined the Marines was in rebellion of that ultra-feminine upbringing. There may have been a girl involved. There was definitely a girl involved. Her name's Diana, and she comes back into the story. These are the letters that we wrote each other in boot camp. And they still smell like her. I don't know if that makes me pathetic or sentimental. It's cute though. In 2006, I went on my first tour with the Marines to Djibouti, Africa, where I spent much of my time filming and editing once the company found out that that was a talent and skill of mine. So that first tour in 2006 was why I was able to film anything I wanted in Afghanistan in 2009. The company already knew me as the guy with the camera, so I got away with everything. In 2009, when I got the call, I was going to San Francisco State for film, and I pretty much had to drop my whole life, get in the car, and drive down to base, which is where our story picks up. Alright, I've just gotten in the car and started driving towards Southern California. I've just left my house. Everything packed. Emotionally where I'm at, since that's kind of what this thing's supposed to be about, I don't feel nervous. I know what's coming. I know the pain that's coming, I know the shit that's coming, and I feel like I'm doing something stupid.
Have you ever wondered what it means to serve away from your family?
Good morning, camera. It is July 10th. I am showing up on base this morning. It shouldn't take me very long to get down there. Should get on base about 6:30. my specific job in the military is called Light Armored Reconnaissance. LAR. That's these things. This is an LAV-25. So you have a driver, a gunner, a commander, and then 4 infantrymen in the back that can get out. Now 4 of these makes a platoon. One guy, that's a platoon. Platoon. So 4 platoons makes the company. 4 companies makes the battalion. So 4 more of these, that's what's deploying as part of 4th Light Armored Reconnaissance. So you live in the barracks for 3 months training before you deploy.
Hey!
Yeah, I got a letter.
And then they go put it in place. I'm like, nope.
Watch what I'm doing.
So yeah, Marines in the barracks are about as rowdy as you would expect. And then at some point you just start training. Usually we only shoot rifles once a month. But when you're getting ready for Afghanistan, you shoot a lot and everything just ramps up. They call it crawl, walk, run.
Clear left!
Where they start small and then everything gets bigger.
About to start the final training exercise. And we'll be done up here, go home, go on leave, and then go to Afghanistan. So, almost done training, 6 more days.
And then everything gets bigger until in the end you're dropping bombs and helicopters are flying around and tanks are moving and people are jumping out and shooting guns and shooting grenades and it gets pretty intense.
Off safe, 1 away!
So the idea for a location-based game genuinely began during training because we were doing things with location and calculating trajectories in order to hit targets. And I had on me an iPod Touch, which had a GPS, a compass, and a gyroscope, which gives you all the data you need in order to calculate a trajectory to a target. So really in my head, it started as like a mortar artillery game, but it changed very quickly.
Come on. Cramp. It's a lot of gear prep right now. Summer tools.
Alright, so at this point training's over and the families come to visit before we leave. And I wanted to pause to tell you 3 stories about my mother. So you're going to see footage that she shot throughout the rest of the documentary, but the purpose of these stories is to help you understand my relationship with her a little better. The first is that my name's not Owen, it's Tyler Owen. The way that happened was my parents couldn't agree on a name, and so they ended up flipping a coin. Well, my dad won the coin toss, and so my name on the birth certificate is Tyler Owen Morris. But my mom won the war, and everybody just calls me Owen. I'm used to it, everyone's used to it. The second story is about the time my mother had me arrested, just before sending me away to boarding school. I was about 17, and her and I had been in therapy together, and the therapist assigned us to do something fun together. She took me shopping for someone else's birthday, and when I complained, she told me that I had failed the assignment by not having fun going shopping. That evening when we got home, I smoked all of the marijuana that I had right there in the house. My mother called the police on me and had me arrested on the spot. And then a month later, I was in the wilderness. The third story I want to tell is present tense in the story you're watching. I asked my mother to pick out the restaurant for my going away, and When we pulled up in front of a gay bar, I was livid. She assured me that it was the restaurant next door to the gay bar, but I pushed her further and discovered that she looked up the restaurant on an LGBT travel website. And now, I'm gonna smoke some weed and we're gonna go to war. Let's go to war. In retrospect, I think it was really fortunate that I didn't have any family there because it gave me the opportunity to really concentrate on trying to document the experience.
There's like 6 of them outside.
So what did you shape your head there, Morris? You make sure you're taking care of your Marines. You're going to do very well over there. You're going to have a great reunion about 7.5 months from now.
This shot in particular, it's a little haunting now because I know who in this picture doesn't live. And I know how they die. You know, you want to bring everybody home, but somewhere inside you, you know not everybody's coming home. Everyone knows that.
Alright. Love you too, bye, baby. See you a little bit. Alright.
On our way to Camp Cupcake. Nice 7 months.
So we're actually headed to Camp Leatherneck, but the reason that Corporal Ryan is calling it Camp Cupcake is because it's the cushy mission. The base is one of the largest in Afghanistan, and our mission isn't really going to have us out in the field too much for the foreseeable future. Within the Marine Corps infantry, this is a little bit like being benched. Like I said, Leatherneck is a massive base.
So you've been here, what, like 2 hours?
2.5.
2.5, got all our shit unloaded?
Yep. And we just had some hearty chow right now.
What did you have?
I had some steak, some potato wedges with cheese sauce.
Did you have the lobster?
No, I did not.
You had the lobster. Was the lobster good?
That's fucking good.
Alright.
I had a T-bone steak, though.
Fucking combat zone, good to go?
We got a pretty big kick out of being able to get lobster and steak in a combat zone. It just made it not real to us.
Hey, make sure you get a shot of me working. How about you do 20 in front of me over here, Morales?
Oh, I was recording?
Yeah.
I don't mind.
Alright, check.
I'll do it.
Team, there's no other questions?
While we spent most of our time on base, we did go on patrols and we did get introduced to the people and the culture.
Alright. Woo! That's fun.
Doing a mobile patrol for the night.
This is the first time we hit an IED. There were no casualties, but it was still a clusterfuck.
I need to narrate for the camera. We've been guarding the downed vehicle. We wrecked 2 vehicles getting to the downed vehicle. And we've pretty much been at it all night. And we're freezing our balls off. We're tired. Nope. You got next shift, go back to sleep.
Looking back, I think there's a chance the vehicle commander, Gunnery Sergeant Campos, intentionally drove over this IED. It might not go off, or he might get a war story out of it, but likely nobody was going to get hurt, so he rolled the dice. I know that's crazy for most civilians to even comprehend, and it might not be true, but
Get a lube in it.
Oh yeah.
Lube in it.
Oh, so we gotta see Doc lubing.
Warm it up a little bit. Yeah, warm it up. Nice and good.
Doc's lubing it up. Getting it ready.
Fucking good.
Oh, really? You're gonna fucking go?
Bored Marines will find a way to amuse themselves and call it training.
Open your mouth. You can probably see it a little bit.
Yeah, it's
You know, like I said, this was the cushy assignment, and so we played a lot of games, and I wore out every game that I had on my iPod Touch. And so this was where I really started to sketch on it and to think about what a location-based game on a mobile device might actually be.
Skies of blue. In the dark sacred night. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Go to fucking F.
I mentioned that my mother was really supportive of my film career, and for this project I asked her to record her side of the experience.
You told me it was the easiest war.
So far, what I've been able to figure out is that the British base, which they are adjacent to, is somewhere northwest of Lashkar Gah. So this is what I marked on the map. Somewhere around here. Hi, visitors to the Jerky Project!
Caffeinated.
Hi! Yes. It's not straight. We're going to finally do it.
Do you like my haircut?
Well, the jerky is now vacuum wrapped and stashed in the freezer, waiting for shipment. One of our pastors printed out the flyer and set it up on a table in our parish hall and made this box and decorated it for people to put their donations in. Jerky.
You got a birthday gift opening?
Wait, what day is your birthday exactly, Corporal Morris?
Oh. How old are you? 26.
The all-nighter beef jerky. Already ready to go. 10 hours deep. Ready for another 24.
That is ridiculous. Dude, our mound of shit. Snacks, stuff.
I'd like to take a moment to thank anybody that's ever sent an Any Marine package or an Any Marine letter or any of those things and just say thank you. At the same time, I think that's part of what makes coming home so hard is being so loved and then all of a sudden not. Being the same person and having that not be okay anymore.
It's very early Sunday morning. Well, I've just been awakened. Yesterday was Owen's birthday. I hadn't heard from him for 6 days and started to have nightmares about driving cars that didn't have brakes. Things like that, but this morning there's a message and it makes the whole day seem okay, even though it's pouring rain and cold.
Damas y caballeros, aquí estamos con unos marinos que ahorita van a ir al Control Base. Aquí estamos con ahorita los Corporal Luis. Dime, Luis, ¿cómo te sientes en este día que vas a ir al Control Base? Que va a ser en Feliz Navidad. ¿Cómo te sientes, por favor, dime?
Just say Feliz Navidad. Just say Feliz Navidad.
Feliz Navidad.
There you go.
Ahí está, feliz Navidad a todos los que están allá en casa en los Estados Unidos. Aquí estamos en Afghanistan, en Leatherneck. Gracias, atrás contigo, Juan.
It's amazing, all this flatness could be so fucking bumpy.
I was just gonna say that. I really want to.
These are all our houses, rain-proof for the rainy season. Settlement 2. It's kind of big.
I believe we're here in the patrol base. This is our fucking Schwaze. That is our post, which right now Anderson is taking care of it.
Say hi, Anderson.
Merry Christmas, ladies. Heather, this one's for you.
Alright, it's December 24th, it's Christmas Eve. We're out of the patrol base, we're going to be out on patrol pretty much all night, starting at 10 o'clock. But until then, I set up a Christmas tree. But it's tactical Christmas tree, it's the IR Christmas tree. Merry Christmas from the Grubs, everyone. So, it is currently 0400. It's 0 dark something. It's 4 in the morning, I believe. Yeah. Roughly. Yeah, we just came back from a 6-hour patrol. So we've been out since 10 o'clock. Yeah. And it's 4 a.m. on Christmas Day. Yeah, Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas, everybody. I tell you what, though. We were looking for bad guys and potentially Santa. And I think I saw Santa, but no bad guys. They were bad guys. They were chasing after Santa, probably. Probably chasing Santa.
Today's Christmas on December 25th, 2009 in Afghanistan. We just got relieved by the British. 2 hours, 3 hours, almost 3 hours late. And a lot of these guys are bitching because they're missed with their families. But tell you know what I say? We got family. We spend it with our family. Our men out there, those guys are the real family. They're right there for you and anything. For anything happens, they're there. But it will stick into these Marines' minds for the eternity. And always remember, we had fucking Christmas in Afghanistan.
You know, I really don't think what Sergeant Castellone's saying here is rhetoric at all. That there's more truth in this rant than I think he realized at the time. And I do still remember Christmas in Afghanistan as being a very positive memory. We had a good time.
I know you got the experience in this room, right? I got They throw it away too easily. You can't catch it because if they
It's Aggie's birthday.
Go.
Where are they taking him? I think they're gonna leave him on the grill.
In December of 2009, it was announced that the troop cap was being increased, starting in January. And now what this meant to us is that we were being pulled out of our cushy assignment and quite literally being dropped onto the front lines.
So we're moving into our new digs, to our new home, where we're gonna wait. We're gonna wait here for a month to get all of our vehicles. Once we get all of our vehicles, then we go down south to get some. We'll see how that works out.
Unfortunately, our team's sticking together, so.
So it was during this limbo time that I first read Ender's Game. So at the end of Ender's Game, he's been dealing with a virtual enemy, an enemy that we've never met. And when he defeats that enemy, when there's no longer a virtual blip on that screen, humankind degrades back into fighting and back into war. But as long as that virtual blip, that shared enemy existed, peace existed among people. I started to think about the reverse of Ender's Game. Instead of destroying that shared virtual enemy, what if you created the shared virtual enemies? Alright, hopefully you can see this. This is a map of all of Afghanistan. Now, down here in the bottom, in this footage, we're driving from this area up here across this open desert, and you will see that big black peak. You're going to see that in the background. Driving across this much open desert was just such a surreal experience. I mean, when we stopped to get out and take a pee break, I remember standing in the middle of the open, flat desert, and it was completely flat in every direction, and it just felt like being on another planet.
Left yesterday at, I don't know, 11:30 noon. Drove until about midnight, 12:30, when we actually arrived here. So it took us almost 12 hours to drive down here. The rest of the company got choppered down and waited here. We worked on the LAV so we could get them to drive, and then drove them down here. And then we're gonna chopper back again today, and then drive another batch down, and then chopper back again, and then drive the last batch down. So we're gonna be spending all of our time doing convoys, driving back and forth and back and forth. Still building out here. I'll have to look that up on the internet.
Oh, out here there was nothing. It was all this shit. Fucking sandbags, filling sandbags all day. Pretty much our daily routine is fucking stand watch. Fill and move sandbag, take out the trash and burn shit. The next day you do it again.
We're waiting for our helicopter.
Yeah.
So while you're watching me move vehicles around, I want to explain the significance to my experience. So the reason that we were given the mission at Leatherneck in the first place was because our company commander was seen as the least competent commander. All of Bravo Company was already at Tagaz, and they had lost 3 men to a suicide vest attack. Alpha Company commander wanted to come rushing in to support Bravo Company, but what he ended up doing was putting 2/3 of his company in the same place as Bravo, so far away from the battalion that they were difficult to support. These vehicles being shuttled around like this was us scrambling to catch up, and it ended up costing him his command.
Today's our last trip. We're staging right now. Sarcastic look at me like I'm crazy because I'm talking to my camera. Which I'm not.
After the commanding officer left, I think if that had any effect on the tour itself, it felt like the Marines themselves were in charge.
Alright, so we just arrived in Tagaz, and it is currently what time?
2100.
2100, and one of the traditions, or I don't know if it's a tradition or an SOP, I don't know what the fuck you call it.
Oh.
This is fucking mortars. They fire off lube rounds.
to know how excited these guys are to be doing their job.
Hang it! Hang it! Fire! Fire! Fire!
So we share the base and the duties with the Afghan military. Compared to Marines, these guys are untrained children.
So, Name? Your name?
My name, Mohammed Khan.
Mohammed Khan?
Mohammed Khan.
Walaikum salam.
Hey, give commentary. Give commentary.
Yeah.
Holy shit. This is bad.
We're gonna have to come back in the next year because of these boogers.
Holy shit.
Oh, they made a freaking half moon. Watch out.
Dude, whatever happened to column right, march?
Why does only one have a flak symbol?
This is bad. This is the future of Afghanistan.
Yeah, this is the future of us coming back.
We're coming back here.
Yeah, alright.
Kansas COC, I did not copy. Be advised, 30. Kansas COC, that was controlled debt. How copy?
Shit.
Woohoo!
Oh man.
I showed you all those IEDs in a row to make the point that we were finding a lot of IEDs. But I want to tell you a story. So I wanted to tell you a story about this IED, which is the one that I found. So some guys had stopped along the side of the road, and we were sent out to go ask them why they stopped. When we got there, they said that the farmer had pointed out an IED to them, and they pointed it out to us, and we were moving back from that first IED to a safe distance when one of the other Marines asked me what was in a bush right next to me, and I looked down and I saw this orange, which is a telltale sign of its detonation cord, is what that is, if anybody doesn't know. And so it's a dead giveaway. I tell you this story because that other Marine started having nightmares, and he stopped being able to go into the field. He saw his death, and he was deeply affected. And I looked at that, and I saw victory. I saw literally the only thing I got on the scoreboard. I'm on the scoreboard. I got that one. What that taught me was that the mentality that you bring into the situation is as important as what happens, if not more.
Whoa! That was a pretty good sized boom.
Yeah, I'm gonna film some post today. I'm up here till noon, and it is currently 6 a.m. So we'll see how this goes.
So we spent most of our time either on post or on patrol. I was primarily on post, and I tried to show some of that level of boredom with some of this footage.
I want to see if I can make this work. This kind of work. Looking through the spotting scope, just pretty much watching people farm.
how to shoot boredom, but I'm feeling it. Highly bored. Only got like 2 hours left.
This is kind of cool though. At least they gave us a pretty AO.
So this is taken at Tagaz, and at one point we only had 2 canned beverages available. It was orange Fanta or A&W root beer. And you remember Diana from boot camp? Guess what she's doing while I'm in Afghanistan? She's the orange Fanta girl. You can't write this shit.
You loving life too today or what? You loving life like we are?
I gave the camera to Lance Corporal Bryce Bass.
I'll take rear.
And this is one of the patrols he went on with it. I really like how you can start to get a sense of what it's like to walk through the village, and the fact that you are walking right through these people's lives. These people live in a very different way than we do, and we got to walk around in that world.
Look how cute you two are holding hands. Yeah.
And I've seen something that most Americans don't know anything about.
I have no idea what you just said to me. Really, I have no idea. All right, yeah. Hey, rock, paper, scissors. Yeah, you got the bike today.
You fucking idiot. We got one more.
What was that? What do you got on you? Huh? What do you got on you?
I always thought this footage was nice in how it showed Bryce playing on patrol and playing with the locals.
I know. You stop right there. You get knocked the freak out, homie.
You almost got barrel shoved in a fucking head, dude. Ready? Ready? Hut.
What the hell we got here, huh?
Well, it's Sunday, March the 27th. I just got off the phone with Owen, and I've been roundly chastised for not having been filming for a while.
06:55 in the morning on March the 29th.
He's able to use the phone now about once a week, seemingly.
Last night, the patrol base got into a rather large firefight. There was machine gun exchange. There were grenades launched. I was on post from midnight to 06, and I called my mother this morning. And ironically, when I was at Leatherneck, I felt safe, so I didn't call my mother as much. Now that I'm down here and we're in a bit more danger, I'm calling my mother a little more, and she feels like I'm safer.
Hearing his voice, you can tell so much more about what's going on. And
I hope my point here with my mother is clear, that she has no clue what's going on. She has pretty much the literal reverse in her head of what was happening.
When are we going home? Like May something? The Fro told our families April.
Yeah.
But he's fucked up because he's retarded. So that puts us at what, like a month and some change before we get out of here? Before we at least get relieved? And all we're doing today is we are
sitting on roads, waiting for people to drive along so we can go catch them. So far, we've stopped one vehicle all day, correct?
Yes.
I don't think there's anything else. Stopped one vehicle. Dude, my mustache has gotten gnarly.
Most of the time we didn't find anything. A lot of the time the Afghan border patrol would steal like cell phones and MP3 players, and we would have to get the people their shit back. It was just ridiculous.
One of the vehicles that we stopped contains Taliban recruitment flyers and a video camera. This is some of the 45 minutes of footage recovered. Most of the time the men sit and talk together, and in between they fire mortars and rockets at Americans, or make IEDs, all while the camera rolls.
الله أكبر 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 وما رميت إذ رميت ولكن الله رمى.
I am struck by the similarity to my own footage, and I imagine my Afghan counterpart behind the camera, filming his friends, fighting their war against us.
The Afghan Special Forces caught these dudes. The town gave them away. They were making IEDs and planting them on the bridge, and the town ratted them out. And so now we have the three of them, and we're detaining them, and we're going to turn them over later. Meanwhile, on the other side of the same base, I mostly played in this soccer game. I just stopped for a little because it was one of those moments where you're playing a game and nobody's keeping score or following the rules, and everybody's just playing. I've been debating how to handle the following subject pretty much since it happened. I have very mixed feelings about showing these images in any context that I might profit from. But I do know that the story itself needs to be told. So that's what I'm going to try to do. Sergeant Major Cottle's vehicle was the 5th in the convoy, if I'm remembering correctly. And it just rolled into a ditch, unlucky. Where he and the driver were positioned, they were directly above the wheel that triggered the device. So they essentially took quite a bit of the force. We believe that that knocked them unconscious, which is why they did not make it out. Now, these LAVs have a lot of gas and a lot of oil in them. And the Marines that were there attempted to use what fire extinguishers they had, but there's no fire truck coming in the middle of the desert. So what ended up happening was the Marines had to stand by and let the vehicle burn itself out with the Sergeant Major and Lance Corporal Santani inside. You remember the picture from the opening. The man in the middle is our commanding officer, the battalion commander. And the man on the far right is Sergeant Major Cottle. This is how Sergeant Major Cottle died. And it's an awful and ugly thing. There's no reason that these men should have died. But there you go. They did. It's just the world, man. It's just life. What I learned is that we're all gonna die, and we don't know when.
This is what we do when we're in Afghanistan. Fucking very hot. We jump in here.
Yeah.
This is Chris in 2010 Afghanistan playing
American hot hands with the kids while we're swimming to engage the locals. It's good stuff.
So this isn't the only time that I went to the ruins, but it is the only time that I had the camera rolling from the second I stepped out of the wire.
Having fun yet?
Always having fun.
There's one more day here, there will be no other one.
That's what makes 3 the max.
What the fuck? If we're leaving them tonight?
This is the thing that I find most amusing. He said this is all Poppy. It's like, okay, that's Poppy, that's Poppy, that's all Poppy. It's all Poppy.
got the cogs and shit. Rock on. We're really just road testing.
Oh, you heard that one from here.
Alright, Ryan, today's April 23rd.
On the night of April 22nd, getting minimal sleep, a firefight took place out of the west over here.
What really happened?
I don't know, a couple pop shots. Not even anywhere close to us.
Pretty close, dude.
You were not close, man. I think we rate our combat action ribbon for that, though.
So the night that Ryan is recounting is the closest I ever got to a gunfight, and I'm going to tell you a joke about it in a bit.
It is May the 4th.
I don't have my watch.
It's May the 4th.
It's May the 4th. Thank you.
And what's that behind you? The closer it gets, the more you can like see the defined edge of it, you know?
MySpace!
Hey Martinez! What's going on? How's the dooskies going?
It's fucking hard, man.
Dude,
I'm trying to push it out.
Dude, you better push it the fuck out because the damn sandstorm's like getting close.
Holy fuck.
Alright, this spot is moving over right now. What we got here is fucking Potomac River right here. The boys of Tagaz. Aggie, say what's up. Hey! Sandstorm, guys! Got Owen Morris right here, fucking videotaping as always.
Holy shit.
Big one, child.
What's going on? How's it going, Darlene? It's going. This is probably the worst one we've been actually in.
It is the morning after that nasty sandstorm. We decided to go down to the river to clean up, which is a little clandestine. Not really supposed to do that, but we jumped in and swam around for a little.
Oh shit! It's really moving.
Got out. Heading back up to the ruins now. I want to show you guys the view.
Where's the way? I don't even remember.
It wasn't too much longer until our time was up and we were packing up to head home.
But hey, Sternbor.
Yes, what?
You packing, right?
Of course.
How's that going?
It's a pain in the ass. Excuse me, it's a pain in the butt, but it's fun nonetheless because it means we get to go home.
Well, obviously here we are getting ready to go home.
And everyone's not as excited as I thought they would be.
You said, oh, fuck me now. It's like, we still gotta carry 400 pounds of shit to the bird.
That's why.
drag it along with you.
It may come on. It may come on. Just get ready. You're ready. Get ready.
Don't drop the packs yet.
Don't drop the packs yet. We've been at it for 5 months.
Oh shit, we're going drinking tonight, boys. Don't even
Welcome home, baby! Oh snap. Oh,
look at that. This stuff is just fun. It's just nice. It is really nice to be welcomed home.
There's more. We gotta turn it all the all I need.
Change the battery pack as Trevor's going, that's him, that's him.
So one of the first things I did when I got home was become a licensed skydiver. So while we watch me do this skydive here, I want to take a second to talk about what skydiving is to me. It's terrifying every time. And once you're out the door, you're committed. And so you have to throw yourself into it, and you have to have this level of trust, this level of faith in yourself that pays off when you land. And you know you got yourself down. You know you flew your body to the ground, and you saved your own life every time. It's pretty fucking cool. And then my pseudo little brother, Peter, came to visit. All right, Peter, so what's going on today?
Shooting some guns, some firepower.
What's going on in the bigger picture? Give it to me in the, I just graduated high school and came out from Ohio.
Yeah,
party with my brother who just
California.
got back from Afghanistan.
California is fucking sweet. I mean,
I'm out
we
here.
went to the strip club and got some
Maybe we shouldn't say that.
Grinding up against.
We need more height. That's left.
Stand by.
Start nice and far back.
2, 3, 2, 1.
Fuck you!
Bowling pin, bowling pin.
Bowling pin! Ah! It occurs to me that this might look a lot scarier to a civilian than it does to me, but to us this was just playing with guns. Developed impulses, I get irritated, I don't know what to do now. So, he's pretty upset. I kicked this up the chain, showed this to by the CO to go hang out with him. Make sure he's okay, make sure he's not gonna kill himself or anything. So right now, I'm just waiting for him to get back to me and say, hey, yeah, come over, let's hang out, it's cool. I developed impulses, I get irritated, I don't know what to do now. He's pretty upset. I kicked this up the chain, showed this to some of the other guys, and I've been ordered by the CO to go hang out with him. Make sure he's okay, make sure he's not gonna kill himself or anything. Humor is a great way to deal with upsetting things. So how about that joke I promised you?
Very funny man from San Francisco, Owen Morris. Hey everybody.
Hey.
So my name's Owen Morris. I spent 7 years in the Marine Corps. Got out sergeant. Rob. Glad you guys didn't clap. It's not clap-worthy material. Being a sergeant in the Marine Corps does not guarantee you're a hero or anything. Once you really think about it, it means I got promoted 4 times in an organization notorious for killing people and fucking other people's wives. I've never killed anyone. There's a lot of stigma around being a veteran these days. A lot of people coming back with PTSD. There's more people getting fucked up over here than there are getting fucked up over there. And everybody kind of seems to think that the traumatic stress is the guns and the bombs and all that shit. No, that shit was awesome. The traumatic stress is coming home and dealing with the motherfuckers that live in this goddamn country. I'd rather bathe in gunfire than ever have to watch Kim Kardashian do anything ever. I'd rather tap dance across a minefield than ever have to watch an episode of Honey Boo Boo. Shit is fucking disturbing. But yeah, you know, that PTSD thing, really what it is that my important gauge is off of everybody else's. The shit that I think is important is not the same shit that everybody else thinks is important. And I hear people complain about shit, and I just want to yell shit back at them. But I can't. I hear people complain about the most ridiculous things like, my contacts make my eyes itch. I just want to yell back, I once had to try to scan the retina out of a decapitated head. My room's drafty in the winter. I once spent a day watching 2 people burn. This is why I do stand-up comedy. Because you can't tell that story in a normal conversation. And I realize that war is hell. But nobody ever talks about the times when war is fucking awesome. Every now and then, war is like a fucking monster truck, strippers, dynamite, cocaine, and more strippers all rolled in one. It's fucking awesome, and that moment came for me in southern Afghanistan. I was out with 8 guys. We're on a 3-day patrol. We're up on the top of castle ruins supposedly built by Alexander the Great. In the middle of the second night, a gunfight breaks out in the town below. There's tracers flying everywhere, but it's so far away that we're not actually in any danger. But it's too late. Call went out over the radio, and they scrambled the jets. And this is how I ended up standing on top of castle ruins in my underpants with body armor on, watching a $28 million jet do afterburner flybys over a tracer gunfight laser light show. My life is not getting any cooler than that. All right, you guys, that's gonna do it for me.
Today's August 25th, 2017. My name's Tyler Morris, I'm 33 years old, and I need to end this film. So the biggest change in my life has been that of my relationship with my mother. After Afghanistan, I began standing up to her and asking her that she treat me better. This caused such huge fights that she insisted I had PTSD, despite a diagnosis, a medical diagnosis to the contrary. And this is where I learned about post-traumatic growth, that some people grow up from trauma and they change their lives for their better, and that's led me to ending the relationship with my mother. And I know that a lot of people don't understand how that's a good thing, but it's a growth for me. It's a moving forward. So Diana and I, we're friends. This is real life. You don't get to be with the first girl you fall in love with, but we have a wonderful relationship, and she's a fun part of the story, so why leave her out? What I'm up to now, I am making a location-based zombie game for mobile and web, and it's to do with playing games in the real world. And yeah, my biggest learning from the whole thing is that no matter what you're up against, no matter who you think you're fighting, your biggest enemy is yourself, is inside, is having that strength to see where you have control and what you can do, and to remain in control of yourself. That's always the biggest fight. All right, I think that's it. We're done.
Driving down the road in my Humvee, searching vehicles in Iraqis, staying in my rack watching One Tree Hill, so I'm never gonna get a confirmed kill. Reporting contact even if we don't get it, just so we can get our combat action ribbon. It's a fucked up arrangement. Our PPE prevents proper engagement. To know I have 7 or 17 really doesn't matter. I'm OFP and the war's already over, so let's go home. I can't wait to go and leave so I can get stoned. Post 2, it's post 1, give me a radio check. Post 1, this is 3, 2's asleep again. Post 3, it's post 1, I got a mission for you. Send a runner out to wake up post 2. And post 3, come in, how do you read? Sorry, post 1, this is the COC. Post 1, who is your SOG? Maybe he can tell me while his Marines are sleeping. It's a fucked up arrangement. Our PPE prevents proper engagement. To know I have 7 or 17 it really doesn't matter. I'm OFP and the war's already over, so let's go home. I can't wait to go and leave so I can get stoned. 4 second and a first, what the fuck is that, y'all? Desperately need to find a different act. Third platoon is what they say, but you know the niggas always got the sharpest skates. And M-O-M-O, I got PTSD. Sick and tired of hearing my staff sergeant scream, but I would rather run over an IED than ever have to hear the BC speak to me. It's a fucked up arrangement. I'm a shit bag with a bad reputation. We got M16s and 203s, 50 cals and Mark 19s, 240 Gs and PAS 13s, RCOs and MREs. We got PCIs and PCs and MVGs and NGPs and HPIs and HDs and POAs and PFCs and LR and EOD and QRF and MSG and NCO and SOG and POV and PFD, EOF and BFT and OPH and RPGs and EDL and ID and BFA and COCs. And last of all, we got just one left. It's the most important one. It's the EAS song. And hey, y'all know Mr. Lance Cooley, and I hate everybody in the COC. First Sergeant, he would never give me a chance, and that's why I'm getting out as a terminal lance, singing EAS, baby, you can't stop time. Well, Sam's getting his, so I'm gonna get in mine. FUSMC, you can suck my cock. I can't wait to be another homeboy back on the block, yeah. It's a fucked up arrangement. Our PPE prevents proper engagement. To know I have 7 or 17 it really doesn't matter. I'm OFP. The war's already over, so let's just go. I can't wait to go and leave so I can go home.